Hello my friends, welcome back. Hope you're doing well, and in today's video I will be in Lightroom Classic and I'm talking about color grading. Now before I jump into that, there's kind of two uses for that term. Color grading is an actual tool that's inside Lightroom Classic, and that's what this video is primarily about, although I'm going to do some other things as well. That tool is really powerful and it's amazing and I use it all the time and I love it. Color grading is also a concept or an idea which is about adjusting colors to kind of create mood or feeling in a photo. So you can use the color grading tool in order to color grade your photo. The terms get kind of overlapping there, but it's all related to the same idea, which for me is shifting, adjusting, manipulating color, which I love to do if you've been here before, and that's what I'll be doing in this video. Now, before I get started, if you don't yet have my free editing ebook for Lightroom Classic, it's at the link down below. It's 17 pages of information, tips, tricks, ideas about some of the different tools for editing in Lightroom Classic. Check it out if you want to do that, and let's get into it. Here's the photo. I've already done a couple of minor things here in the basic tab. As you can see, I increased contrast, pulled down the highlights, and I gave it a minor bump in warmth. So if you look at the before and the after, right? Before and after, just very, very minor stuff. I always start in basic. I love to do that. And then I usually jump into masking. And I'm not going to dive deep into masking in this video. It is a walkthrough demo of how I color grade an image and use the color grading tool specifically. But I'm going to do a couple of things because I can't not mask. It's pretty much, I think, essentially required on every photo. I'm going to start with this linear gradient. And all I'm really doing is kind of framing the photo. And I'm just going to drop the exposure a little bit down there in the lower part of the image. So if you look at the before and the after, you can see I'm just kind of framing that bottom, and it's got a nice reflection with nice color in it, and the color is going to pop after we're done with this tutorial. But first I want to shape the light, and while I'm at it, I'm going to do the same thing but at the top. And that's a linear gradient again up here in the sky and fading it like that. So I'm just kind of slightly framing the photo. Pull down that exposure just a little bit. You don't want to overdo it. And I like to have a really broad gradient zone, which for me is the entire zone from that top line to that bottom line and everything in between, where the adjustment that you make fades from, in this case, the top to the bottom. And so that gives it a nice smooth transition and gives you a nice look to your image. So if you look at the before and the after, you can see that slight shift in tone there, and it kind of fades away as it approaches kind of the horizon line. So that's all the masking I'm going to do, but so far, slight change in light values in the top and bottom, which I just did, plus what I did in the basic tool. And there we go. I have a nice sunset that I shot on the Oregon coast a few years ago, and I want to jump into color grading. Now, if you had Lightroom in years ago, the tool used to be called split toning, which basically took highlights and shadows and allowed you to apply a color look, a saturation amount, and a color hue to the highlights or the shadows. Bottom line is, and this is not new by the way, when it became color grading, it was a massive upgrade to split toning, and they added midtones, but they also added some additional functionality. It's a great tool. I really don't ever use it just by itself. So I often find myself using color grading tool in combination with other color tools to color grade my whole photo. See what I mean? Like the whole color grade idea kind of, it steps on other ideas. Anyway, there's a few different things that you can do here. So what I want to do is jump into this real quick. This is the icon that I'm on, which has 3 different color wheels. And these wheels, you can see the different colors, and you see these little buttons, and you see these sliders. These wheels are the midtones, the shadows, and the highlights. You can also individually go into each one. Those 3, it shows you all 3 of them. The dark one, of course, is shadows. The gray one is midtones, and the white one is highlights. So it just gives you a little bit more visibility. You will also notice you may see it like that, where that little drop-down menu is not exposed. You can click that to get a slider for hue and saturation, which you can also do here. I'll get into that in a second. And then the last piece is global. And global, as the name implies, applies a color look, whatever you do here, to the entire photo. Note that you can make adjustments to shadows, midtones, and highlights, and then when you go to global, that's on top of what you've already done to shadows, midtones, and highlights. So you do want to be careful that you don't overdo it, especially with saturation, but it's a great approach. to be able to have all of that capability in this tool. And that's why I said it's such a massive upgrade from what used to be known as split toning. So what I normally do, I like to go into the individual tools because I feel like I like to have them a little bit bigger. I like to do that drop down so I can see the expanded version. And you can use the sliders here to make adjustments, or you can use the color wheels themselves. Let me start with highlights. In highlights, what I did is, by the way, you grab this outer circle, and that is the hue. You'll notice this hue slider right down below. That number is changing as I move this hue around because that's the hue slider. For highlights, especially for a sunset, I want to go more in the warm category. So I ended up going to about a 21 or so, which is kind of approaching the reds. So something like that. And then the saturation, I'm going to drag. Now, did you notice as soon as I grab saturation, that's what this button is, the further you move it away from the center and toward the edge, the more saturation you get. But you will notice when you pick it up, sometimes it's hard to move. Here's a little trick for you. You can double click to reset, by the way. Double click will reset any of these. Let's say you get that to 21, which is where I was. So let me get this hue in place. There's my 21. What you can do is hold down the shift key. As soon as you hold down the shift key, you see that line shows up. And then when you drag saturation, it forces it to stay on that line. And that makes it a lot easier. Whereas if you just grab that saturation dot, if you will, that's in the center and start dragging it, sometimes your hue will shift. And so I like to do it this way because it's a little bit easier. But honestly, what's easiest of all is just using the sliders down below. I'm going to do that in the rest of this video. And that's normally how I do it because it's quicker and easier, but I wanted to point that out with the color wheels, how you can take advantage of that. Now, the other thing that you have here is also a luminance slider. And so this is, as the name implies, it'll brighten or darken whatever color shade you've applied. And in this case, I want to do like a -10. So I'm going to pull this down a little bit. And all I did is just slightly darken the kind of reddish tone that I added to the highlights. You'll also notice back here, this slider, that is also the luminance slider. You can see that it says midtones luminance because that's the midtones. I'm on highlights, and you can see here, there's the numbers, the values that I just applied for the individual highlight area. Hue of 21, saturation of 36, luminance of -10. So all these numbers correspond. This is just easier to do in my opinion because it's a bigger part of the screen. Now you've also got something down below called blending. Now blending is basically, as the name implies, it's about blending the different colors that you apply in each of these different regions together. It defaults to 50, and I often leave it at 50, but not always. But if you go to 0, for example, what that does is it keeps a little bit more purity to each of the colors so that they don't blend as much. And you can see that there's more distinction between the colors there. Whereas if you go to 100, they blend together and overlap quite a bit more. And so it just varies by photo. What I end up doing in this photo is actually going to about a 19 on the blend. That creates a little bit more purity, but not essentially 100% purity between them. So it's a nice blend, but I still have some distinction between the colors. That's kind of how I approach this one. Now I go into midtones, and here I generally do a similar thing as I did in the highlights, which is a little bit more warmth. So I'm going to do like a 22, 23. Saturation is going to be about a 35 or 36. And this is starting to get kind of saturated. And then luminance, I'm going to go a little bit brighter. That's about a 0.4 or +4, +5. By the way, you'll notice the blending here is 19. The blending slider, once you move it on any of these three channels, the highlights, midtones, or shadows, it's going to be the same on each of those. Balance is the same way. Balance is basically, do you want to err more on the side of what you've done like in the shadows versus the highlights? So I'll come back to that one in a minute after I make some adjustments in the shadows. But what I did in the highlights, or excuse me, in the midtones here, is add a little bit of warmth like I did in the highlights. And then I want to go into the shadows here. And in the shadows, I tend to go darker in the shadows and cooler. So 233, 234 is a nice blue color. Saturation here is in the 30s, so 37, let's call it. And I'm going to go a little bit darker, so like a -25 or something like that. And so that's darkening the blue's in the shadows, so I'm creating a little bit more contrast is really what it comes down to. And the whole idea here for me in this color grading tool is that I'm essentially playing the warm colors and the cool colors off of each other. You guys may be familiar with complementary colors, like the yellows and blues. They're opposite side of the color wheel, and therefore the complementary warms and cools are like that, right? So I'm creating a little bit more warmth in the midtones and the highlights, and I'm playing that off against what I'm creating as a cooler, darker look in the shadow. So I get a light contrast, but also a color contrast in my image. And so if you look at the image and what color grading has done, it took it from a lot more of a blue scene to a bit more of a warm scene, a little bit nicer, kind of softer overall look with a nice bit of warmth without giving up that cool stuff that's in the shadows. So again, before and after. Now balance, I talked about that. Let me show you balance. Like I said, if you go to the left, it gives you, essentially at the left, it gives you mostly what you did in the shadows, right? Because the left is shadows, just like on the histogram. And if you go to the right, it gives you mostly what you did in the highlights, because all the way to the right is the highlights, just like in the histogram. So balance defaults to 50. I'll usually leave it there, but sometimes if you're fiddling around with the shadows and the highlights and you can't get it to look exactly the way you want it to look, maybe you like this, but you want it a little bit warmer, you can shift the balance just a tiny bit to the right, get a little bit more warmth, or shift the balance slightly to the left, get a little bit overall coolness. It varies. Your mileage may vary. Every photo is different, but experiment and have fun. The bottom line is that's how color grading works. And what I want to do also is go into the global tool, because as I told you before, that will actually apply a look, whatever color I choose here, will apply across the entire photo. So I ended up choosing like a 293 or something, and I gave it a slight bump in saturation. It's like a 7 or 8, something like that. And all that did was just take what I've already done with highlights, midtones, and shadows, and I stuck this on top of it. So I kind of stacked this edit on top of the individual tonal area edits that I already did. So now overall, very cool with a nice little bit of warmth here and there, but not that prominent. Now, quite a bit more warm, and in fact, maybe too warm. So you might want to come back and play with some of the saturation. Maybe it's a little too much in the highlights. Maybe it's a little too much in the midtones, because that's where more of the warmth is. Maybe that's a little bit better, tamer overall look. The bottom line is you have a lot of control to go in and manipulate those colors and get them to achieve the look that you want, or to achieve the color grade that you want. Now I mentioned when I'm color grading my image, I like to use the color grading tool, but the other color tools that are incredibly powerful and useful that may be good complements to this are color mixer, and specifically that would be point color. I'm not going to use it here, but I'll come back and do more videos. If you'd like to see more, just leave a comment down below. But point color is great because you can pick a color, dial it in very specifically. And then of course there's calibration, which is my favorite color tool. And I've talked about it in just probably about every Lightroom video that I do because I love it. I mean, it's fantastic. And what I want to do here is go play with the different color sliders here in calibration. And this tool is very different in terms of what it does for you, but it gives you a really nice color look because it's impacting the RGB values in each pixel. So it has a very different effect, and what you'll find is that I find it to be incredibly complementary to what I already did in color grading. So I did a little bit with blue. I'm now going to do a little bit with the green, and this is a tool I think that you want to be careful with. I'm going pretty heavy-handed here, to be honest, but I like my color, and of course you should season to taste, as I like to say. In other words, create the color look or color grade that you want or like that appeals to your sensibilities, right? I kind of like a rich, vibrant color look, and that's what I'm going for here. But of course, you should do whatever it is that makes you happy because these are your photos and you should be happy when you're editing them. I'm going to go in and apply a little bit here as well. And all I'm doing is making these pixel level color adjustments. But if you look at that, I mean, that looks rich and beautiful. And I also think I've achieved even more separation of color and vibrancy between the warm and cool than I had when I was color grading. And that's why I said calibration, in this photo especially, is such a great complement to what I've done in the color grading tool. So let me show you without calibration. That's what it was like. I'd already come a long way. That's what it was like without calibration. That's with calibration. Now, let me show you if I didn't have color grading and just had calibration. So if I turn off color grading, it's very blue. So that's what's interesting about calibration is it gives you so much control at that pixel level with the RGB values because they exist in every pixel, and the color impact that you can have is honestly incredible. That's what calibration would have done to the photo, but doubling that up and complementing color grading with calibration gives you this beautiful subtle kind of pastel sunset with nice separation of colors, nice color contrast with that warm and cool tones across the entire image. And I love that look. I just think it looks fantastic. And that, my friends, is my edit for this photo. So if you take the before, fairly flat, it was nice. And it was a nice, colorful, beautiful evening, but the vibrancy in the warm tones wasn't there. And of course, the cool tones are a little bit more muted. Got a lot richer overall look. And again, it's fairly saturated. You don't have to go to that extent. But here's an idea, by the way. If you get to this and you really like it, but you think it's a little too much, you go back to basic and just take the vibrance and the saturation down a little bit across the entire photo. That's going to give you a little bit tamer overall look without having to go back to color grading or calibration or color mixer if you use that and fiddle with the individual dials or whatever they may be. You can just go back to basic and take that saturation or vibrance down or bump it up if you need a little bit more pop, and you still have a beautiful overall look. So before, after, that's a deep dive perhaps on color grading, the tool, and how I use color grading, the concept or the idea, by combining a couple of different color tools in Lightroom to get the look that I want. Thanks for stopping by, my friends. Check out my free ebook if you'd like to have that, and I'll be back soon with another video. You guys take care, and until next time, adios.